original KID. Started in 91 in the state of NC.
In the place to be, your boy paid his dues with Helms invades a spot on the
Project Almanac is a 2015 film that I have been meaning to review for about a month or so, and it's taken me a lot longer than I would have liked, but I did get a chance to check this movie out in the theater. The plot of this movie is we meet this character, David Raskin, who you see him in high school. He's trying to get a scholarship into college, and that didn't really work out, so he's trying to figure out what he could do for money to do so, until him and his sister find that their father, I guess, was working on or had this device. This device that basically, once him and his friends are able to figure it out and put pieces together that have to be together, they create a time machine. Holy fuck, right? So at first they're using it to what you would think, right? They're having fun and doing all these things that a lot of people would think to use it for. But then they start to find out the hard way that if you do that too many times, you start causing ripple effects, and it could mean some really bad shit happening. Now, what I thought of Project Almanac was, overall, I did like the movie. I say overall because the first half I wasn't, not that I wasn't interested, because I was interested just in the premise alone going in, but I didn't think anything was special. I thought it was very straightforward, very routine, nothing I hadn't seen before. The found footage aspect, I should mention that because this movie is found footage, and I'm not saying that I'm completely sick of found footage movies, although sometimes you might hear me say I am. It's just, if there's no reason for it, I don't understand why we're doing it. I mean, I know economically it's cheaper, so that's probably at the end of the day why they did it. It was a hell of a lot cheaper. But even story-wise, it's like, it could have made sense. There's moments where the sister, David's sister, Christina, she has the camera and she's the one basically recording everything. And at the beginning, it doesn't make sense why they're recording everything. I mean, there's moments where it's like, who would record any of this? She's like hiding, recording conversations, and it's just like this, it just didn't really work. But when it came down to them trying to figure out the time machine and working on it, and David's like, yeah, record everything now. It's like, yeah, that makes sense, but your fucking sister has been already recording everything before then, so I don't know. And then there came other times when, later on, when shit starts to go haywire from the time travel, and you have, like, David with the camera on, and he's holding it as he's running away from, like, the cops, or when he's trying to do something illegal or doing something behind people's backs, and he's recording himself as he's doing it. I'm like, how does that make any fucking sense? Who would do that? I know you wouldn't have a movie if they didn't do that, because that's the whole thing, but that's why I question why you need found footage in this story anyways. Maybe some of the movie do it like a traditional movie, and then cut to the found footage when they're actually recording. That would be something different. What? Something different in found footage? Anyways, I don't want to belabor this point because, like I said, the first half, when they do discover that this time travel machine works, and when they first do it, it is kind of cool. There's an effect where everything sort of goes in slow motion, and the objects rise up, and there is a cool aspect to it. And when they first start to time travel, they do the obvious things that if I was in high school like them, I would totally do stuff like this. Like, one of them is failing their grade, so they go back to try to help him pass. The sister is being bullied, so they go back to try to stop that. So, like, little things that are more high school issues. But I wasn't, like, wowed by that point. Then, when the movie did get more serious and did start to show that you can't play God, you can't use a power like this and just be so frivolous about it. Just like, oh, this is fun, this is nothing. There's no consequences. There is consequences. And in some cases, there's some dire consequences. Like, I like the first shot that they have of this is when one of the characters encounters themselves from the past, like the two meet, and it's this weird shift, and they start to disappear. Like, you can't interact with yourself in this movie, or it all goes to hell. And then there's other moments where maybe I shouldn't give this away, but David likes one of the girls in the group, and when he blows it the first time trying to get with her, it's like by the time he realizes that he could have got with her, it's too late. He goes back in time himself and tries to rectify that, and it's something that you think, okay, that makes sense. But when you see the consequences of it and how much your actions affect this whole huge thing, that's when the movie got interesting. I'm not saying it's the first time I've seen a movie do stuff like this. Obviously, the butterfly effect was the first thing that came to mind. But still, I don't mind a movie being inspired by something or taking ideas from something else and using it to do something different. That's what this movie did. The last half I definitely got into, and I was curious to see where it went. Time travel, that's just a premise that I'm fascinated by. So it's going to get me from that alone. So my rating for Project Almanac. The first half, I thought I was going to give it a rental, but I ended up coming to a matinee. The last half is definitely worth checking this movie out in the theater. If you still can, it has been out for a little while. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you have seen Project Almanac. What'd you think of it? Like, comment, subscribe. Later!